Hello and welcome to REginaldesq. I'm Underhook and this is my review of the Tier 2 American SPG, the T1 HMC. So, is it any good? No, I didn't like it at all. I think it's awful, but I have to sort of be a little bit careful because my crew started off at 75% trained and is still only 77% trained. So, the most important thing, which is accuracy, would be fairly affected by that. So you've got to sort of weigh that into it. But I liked the German one a lot better because with the German one, it hits a lot harder than this, and so when you do actually hit, you do decent damage. Whereas this one, when you hit, you don't tend to do a lot of damage. So it's kind of, you still miss just as much, but when you hit, you're not really rewarded for it. So it's kind of didn't like it much. I think most of the Tier 2 artillery will be like that though. I don't think it's that this one is particularly worse than the other Tier 2 artillery. I think it's just that they're all awful. But the German one was probably a lot less awful than this. So my crew, no skills, 75% to 77% trained in the game. I've got no equipment. I could put a camouflage net, but it's not really much point in it. So what can we say about this? Well, the gun, let's have a look at the gun. It has a rate of fire of 6.67, it's not too bad. I'll get into that in more detail a bit later. Dispersion of 0.8, but with my crew being not very skilled, dispersion is up to 0.87. Aiming time of 5.5, but it's 5.99 for me currently. So, what I did find was though that actually, if it says here, it says reload time 9.63 seconds and the aiming time is 5.99. That is totally incorrect. I'm not sure if that's because I think it's actually bugged. I think it must be a bug because I would fire, keep my gun in the exact same position, and I would reload before I'd finished aiming. So that means it takes longer to aim than to reload. Whereas here it says the reload is longer than the aim. But I didn't find that to be the case. So I would say this tank is actually bugged, but because it's Tier 2, no one's probably bothered complaining about it or even realised it. So that's awful because the whole benefit of this is it's faster firing. That's why it's meant to be better than the German one because it reloads a lot quicker. But it doesn't aim. So there's no point in firing this thing when it's not fully aimed because it's awful accuracy even when it is fully aimed. So really you could pretty much count your reload time as your aim takes longer than that to aim. So really you've got to wait 10 seconds before you can fire or more. So it's pretty much useless in my opinion. Alright, so let's have a look at that comparison. Alright, so I've just picked out a few of the tanks because most of the tanks are similar to this T1 HMC. The real different one is the German one I've got on the end there. So I've got the T1, I've got the British Lloyd, and I've got the German one that I reviewed not long ago. So the T1 has the highest DPM out of these three that we've selected. In fact, the German one has the lowest DPM. But penetration of 19 on this, it's 21 on the Lloyd, but the Lloyd does slightly less damage per shot, so it's kind of balanced out. And then we have 27 on the German one. And the German one also does 410 per shot, or potential damage per shot if it fully penetrates. Whereas this only has 175 damage if it fully penetrates. Now it's almost never going to fully penetrate because 19 mils is pretty low. And the thing is, this gun has a pretty low arc. It doesn't have a high arc. So you're very rarely going to be landing on top of tanks. You're almost always hitting them in the front or the side, and they almost all have more armor than 19 mils. So you very rarely ever do your full damage in this tank. In fact, I don't think I have ever done full damage with a shot from this tank. I imagine the Lloyd would be in a pretty similar position, but with the German one, with the 27 penetration, you can quite often do full damage with this tank, and even if you don't do full damage, it can still one-shot tanks. So, big difference there. Now, the advantage of these lower penetration, lower damage tanks is the rate of fire. So we have 6.67 for both of them, and it's only 2.22 for the German one. So there's your big advantage there. Reload time, 9 seconds, but 27 seconds on this guy. However, as I said, the aim time seems to take longer than the reload. It's not supposed to. It says here 5.5, but I was finding it taking longer than the reload, which I think you will see in the gameplay I have coming up for you. So the reload's probably taking, well, if it was 9 seconds to reload, the aim time's probably taking about 11 or so seconds at the moment. So really the rate of fire isn't that good because you need to be fully aimed. Explosion radius of 1.06 is also not that good. 1.09 for the British, which is about the same, but it's 1.19 on the Germans. So that's a huge advantage. It's almost double the distance of these two. The splash radius, and the splash radius is a big deal in artillery. So, yeah. Let's see. Shell velocity of 380 is fairly quick. The problem, though, with a fairly quick velocity is the shell doesn't take as high an arc. Interesting. The Lloyd actually might be a bit better with the 265 arc. With 265, lower speed might cause it to take a higher arc. Means you might land on top of tanks more. But it was similar with the German one. So the range is not a problem at all. Ammo capacity, it's got stacks. And let's have a look here. As we said, aim time 5.5, 5 on the Lloyd and 6.5 on the German, which is fine for all of them if it was true. 8.84, really no difference in accuracy I didn't find between any of them. Now the German one, when I did it, I did have an 80% crew, whereas this one might crew 75, so that could have made a difference between the two as well. What else can we tell you? 45 degrees of elevation and 5 degrees of gun depression, so it should be relatively good at defending itself against in TD mode, you could say. However, I found that it missed everything. Forward speed of 34 is not too bad. You can ram tanks with this. It does pretty well at ramming. Reverse speed of 12. Turns really, really slowly. And what else can we say? I think that's about all. Yeah, well, there we go. Track traverse is 20 degrees a second, which is pretty slow. And armor, well, it has none, but we'll quickly show you that in a minute. It has 80 hit points, which is the same as the Lloyd, but it's 10 less than the German, which does make a difference at this tier. 10 points is a fair bit. It's more than 10% of the health. And I think that's about all. 250 meter view range, which hopefully we'll never have to use. And that's about all we need to know. So let's have a quick look at the armour. Alright, so looking at the armour, you can see the red sections here are 9.5 millimeters. In front of the gun there, this green section is 0 millimeters. I don't know how you have 0 millimeters of sheet metal, but maybe that's nothing there. Maybe that's what it is. The side of the tank is also 9 millimeters. Down the orange bits here are 6.4. The tracks provide 6.4 millimeters over 5 millimeters over 6.4 millimeters, so not much. The rear is the same, and it's open top, of course, so any artillery counter battery fire that hits you will probably destroy you with 1 or 2 shots, and it can't really stop anything. Alright. The map is Mines. It's a tier 3 game. We're in our tier 2 tank. Well, let's just change that to tanks. There we go. So, yes, moving into position. I'm going to get up the back here. I'm going to get a bit of height, so I've got a better chance of hitting people. And gun has a fairly low trajectory, so I want to be as high as I can to give myself the best chance of hitting targets. If I'm lower, then it's harder to hit things. So, yeah, they've already made it onto the hill, so we've already been sort of outclassed, which is not a good sign. At this tier, if people have already rushed the hills, it means they already know how to play the map, and I might be on a team that doesn't know how to play the map, so that's a bit problem. Anyway, we're trying to line up in this guy. Looks like we can get over the rocks here, so if I didn't have the height I would have been able to. So that was a fully aimed shot. I have moved the gun a bit so that it may reload before aiming, and which it has done. Reloaded before aim, but I did move the gun a little bit. As you can see, we missed again by about, what would that be? If that tank is, say, 3-4 meters long, they're probably missing by about 6 meters. Fire again, and this time we hit it. While it's moving and I'm not fully aimed, we actually hit it. We did 59 damage, which is okay. Tank doesn't have a lot of armor. I wish that was us hitting it, but it wasn't. I don't know where our shell actually ended up going there. Lining up on this guy, I'm hoping he'll poke the edge to take a shot at our guys, and I'll be able to hopefully hit him when he does. Now I'm just moving to see if I can get a shot at him. I can't. He's actually in a pretty good spot for not getting hit by artillery. I think the D1 actually has reasonable armour anyway, so I probably wouldn't do much to him if I did hit him. I can't get this MT light. He's too smart. He's staying behind rock. He's staying in a pretty good position. He's just popping out trying to shoot this T29 Panzer 2 here on our team. So he's actually playing the position fairly well. I decided to just move up here and I set this bush here. I think it's a pretty good camping position, so I'm just going to shoot at it. I don't have any other targets at the moment, so while I haven't got any targets, I'll just pop a shell in there. Don't know if it hit because this guy popped up on the screen, so I figure, okay, he's moved in a position where I can hit him, so let's see what we can do. So I fire the shot now, we destroyed him. We hit him and destroyed him. How good was that? So that was lucky. So now we're lining up on this Cruiser 3 here. It looks like he might stay poked out a little bit. Yeah, he is. I'll wait till we fully aim this. Alright, he's moved, so I'll let the shell go. And we hit the other side of the building, unfortunately. So we missed by what? Well, how long is the building? 30 meters, maybe? Okay, this time we missed by 45 meters. So I'm hoping if my crew was 100% trained that the accuracy would be a lot better. I hope so, because it's pretty much unplayable at the moment. I've had quite a few games in this tank where I haven't been able to hit anything for the whole game, and that's pretty much unplayable. And the thing is, when you do hit, you're not doing that much damage. So I'm just seeing this guy might be hiding behind the bush here, so I'm just about to shoot the bush just in case it's hiding there. But we missed by a mile anyway. So yeah, this thing misses by a lot. Now it says it misses by, what is it, 0.89. Its standard is 0.8, but with micro it's 0.89 per 100 meters. I'm not shooting like 300 or 400 meters here, so it's missing by a lot more than stated amount. But hey, we've come to expect that. So I don't really know what to do here, whether I just fire at these bushes or what, but someone else has been spotted now, this T2, so hopefully can't hit him yet, but he might move back into the position where I can hit him. I'll let a shell go here and missed. I wasn't fully aimed, so that's fair enough if that one missed by a fair bit. I thought he was going to come forward, but he's not. He's going to wait till it's fully aimed. We let it go, and we actually hit him. But you can see there we only did 30 points of damage to him, even though it looked like it was a hit. Maybe it wasn't a direct hit, because he was tilted up, so probably should have hit his top armor there as well. So I'll let one go here, and you can see, I saw a bush go down just here. So I don't know if the guy's knocked it down to hide, or whether he's actually moving forward. I'm going to put a shot out there anyway, if nothing else comes up on screen, which it hasn't. So we let that shot go, and I haven't moved. I'm letting it fully aim again. And you can see we've reloaded, but we're still aiming. And I didn't move that at all. So it took about maybe, it wasn't that much. It might have been a second tops, I suppose. That was about a second longer than it took to, it took a second longer to aim than it did to reload. So anyway, something's wrong with the stats for the tank. Either it's reloading faster than they say, or it's taking longer to aim than they say. One of the two. Actually, we should be able to see when we fire this shell. Is there is the timer actually giving us... Is there a reload countdown timer? I can't see one. Someone else gets him. So this is the only game I've got for you today. This tank is just too boring to watch to put you through more than one game. But this will give you a bit of an idea of what to expect with it anyway. Oh no, he's come right up on me. All I can do is take a shot. I'm probably going to hit by enemy artillery as well now. No, the Chinar finishes me off, gets another shot in. So Chiha. So I think we might have hit him with a direct hit there. I don't know, but we did hardly any damage to him anyway. And that's it. End of the game. We have lost. So an awful game. but it was the best of a bad bunch. We actually got a bit of spotting or assistance damage somehow. Class 3 apparently for a loss on that one. We finished about middle of the road doing 147 points of damage, which I wouldn't be surprised if that's the highest damage I did in this tank for any games. I don't know how many I've played, not that many, but yeah. And we fired 20 shots. 4 direct hits. So we're not talking splash. That was 4 direct hits and 1 splash damage for 147 damage. So I think, didn't it say it does about 150 damage per round, or 140? It might even be 147 damage per round is the average damage. So 4 direct hits, and for a total of, so none of them penetrated. So you can see here that the low trajectory means it's really hard to penetrate anything, and you're just getting hardly any damage, and it misses most of the time. 20 shots for 4 hits, 147 damage. Yeah. So we damaged 4, destroyed 1, and 59 assistance damage apparently. So what do you think of it so far? Rubbish! Thank you for watching my review of the T1 HMC. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe to REginaldesq. In the meantime, have fun.